Okay, so Kanya, whenever you are ready, okay, let's start the show.
Okay. Can we start?
Yes, yes, let's do it, Sukanya.
I'm audible and visible. Yeah?
Yes.
A very good morning, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sukanya and I am from Mumbai Toastmaster Club. The session is 29th session and I have been member of Readers and Leaders Book Club since its beginning. This session has 4 parts. The first part is the keynote speech round. The second part is question and answer round. The third part is storytelling round. And the fourth part is debating round. In the first part, the keynote speaker is Shefali, and the most interesting session is question and answer round, in which audience can ask questions to Shefali. The third round, in which the storyteller Disha will speak her well-crafted story, and the fourth round is the most curated and interesting round of debating session on topic of hashtag #MeToo on worldwide. To introduce our keynote speaker, I would like to say she is an engineer by profession, but she has a passion for writing. She has been writing poems and stories since childhood, and thus decided to give a direction to her passion. Her book, The Infinite Road, got published by Lakshya Hall Publishing recently. It won the Best Debutant Fiction Award in the Indian Literary Awards 2020. She has also authored a book on hackers and short poems, A Paradise of Thought, previously. She is currently pursuing a PhD in computer science, and in her free time, she loves to write and read books, listen to music, plays musical instruments. She also has a travel blog where she shares tips and places to travel around the world. With this note, I would like to invite today's keynote speaker, Shefali Arora, with a great round of applause.
Thank you so
Shefali,
much.
over to you.
Thank you so much. I am really excited to be here in today's reading session, and I am glad that I got this. I was given this opportunity by the Toastmasters to share my views. This is indeed a great experience for me. And today, as I'm the keynote speaker, I would be sharing a few thoughts and what I know and researched about the word feminism. So, as you have been seeing in the group, so we all have different perceptions about feminism, and we have been sharing our thoughts on that. And this is where I'm going to explain my take on feminism and how books have been playing a role, or a catalyst in, such in the feminist movement that has been going on in India as well as in the world. So, before I start, I'll just share with you what feminism is about. So if you go on Wikipedia and check it out, so feminism is basically referring to a range of movements, be it political or social movements, which refer to ideologies which can aim at the equality of women. So women throughout the world, they have been fighting for their rights, be it the right for equal pay, the right to vote, the right to the equal rights within marriage, and most importantly, the right of being protected from rapes and domestic violence. So that is what feminism, basically the movement, has been about, to give them equal rights, be it in any arena. For me, I would say feminism is giving girls a chance so as to, pursue what they want and come out with flying colors. So what happens is, especially in our society, if we talk about our Indian society, girls are not given a chance. They are generally said, you will not be able to do this, or this is not something that is meant for girls. But I would say that definitely give them a chance and they will excel at everything they do. So in many cases, we see that even girls, they are killed before being born. So there are so many such instances, especially in our society, which definitely give, there is a need to, promote this movement that is on feminism. And so now I would be sharing about a few books that, that have been the driving force for this movement. And it would be great if you all could switch on your videos. It would be awesome. So I'll just share my screen and we will begin. So what is the best way to know about feminism? So the best way to know about feminism is through books. So, just grab a book, read what authors say about this movement, what is their perception about, because the perceptions vary, the domains vary in which we are implying feminism. So I would focus on some of the books that I researched, a few of them which I have read as well, and which are giving the different facets of feminism. So before that, I would share two quotes from my book, The Infinite Road. It's not basically on feminism, but the perspective was to, give an idea that basically it's the story of a person named Alunkrita who finds a physically disabled girl on the streets of Chandigarh. So that girl, Anokhi, she has been abandoned by her parents, and Alunkrita brings her home. She wants to give her a bright future. And so Alunkrita gets stuck in a web of predicaments. She wants to open her own startup, and her ex comes back in her life, and she is in a number of the society is not accepting her having Anoki in her house, and she also starts falling for her new neighbor. So there are a lot of complexities that she faces, but her main agenda is to get Anoki a sorted life. So how would she be able to do it in the midst of all these problems, So that's why I've named it The Infinite Road, because it's a journey that Alunkrita and Anoki need to walk on. So like the first quote, I always wished to go to school. Daddy said that we had no money and gradually or we all would get married. So Anoki is telling about what she was facing, what she heard. She's an 80-year-old girl, but she is very receptive to what people are saying around her. So before she was abandoned, she remembers, because the book has shifting perspectives. So she remembers what basically was said about her at home, that they would be married at a very young age. And when she's with Alunkrita, so this was what Alunkrita says, what about her parents who raised her for 8 years and unobtrusively got rid of their responsibilities? So Alunkrita feels there is a need to, get her to the right place, to get her treated, so that she becomes one of the society. So once she is physically disabled, and second is that she is not accepted by the society because she's a little girl who is good for nothing. So Alunkrita wants to give her a new direction in life. So it, according to me, this is about giving not necessarily like physically disabled, or as the book is about, but also in particular girls, a chance to actually do what they want, and we should be willing to adapt to such changes, sorry. So now I would be focusing on a few books, that have really generated that spark of feminism. So I would start with some Indian contemporary writers that have really stirred this movement. So the first one that I'm sharing with you is Rama Mehta's Inside the Haveli. So this author, Rama Mehta, was a very renowned Indian sociologist and writer who was born in the year 1923. And she was one of the first women actually who was appointed to Indian Foreign Service. But she was forced to resign from her position because she got married. And that was the time when women were not actually really, considered allowed to work after marriage, I would say. So this book specifically, Inside the Haveli, it has a very interesting plot, because that's something that women definitely faced in those times, and even in some places maybe even now. So the story is about the woman protagonist named Geeta, who is an educated woman from Mumbai, and her parents thrust her into marriage with a person named Ajay. So the parents of this guy, because they are from a very famous old Haveli in Udaipur, so the women of Udaipur are not allowed to. They are not allowed to show their face. So they have got to stay under the veil or the parda. So when she is married, she is really flabbergasted, because she comes to know that she has got to stay under the parda, and there are different apartments, and there are many other supporting characters who come along in this book. But she tries to struggle, but then she finally accepts her fate, that it is going to be like this. So all her misgivings open up when finally, she has a daughter. So now the point is that, would she resist, or would she allow her daughter to go into the same system that she was forced into? So that is the crossroad that Geeta comes on, and from there on she has to decide how she would be preventing her daughter from falling into the same trap. So it's actually a very valid question, and it's actually a very genuine point that the author has raised in this book, that when you in this society, why are women not allowed to why are they forced to follow such traditions or customs that they do not want to? So that is even there in many parts of our society today. So this is one of the perspectives, and this was especially because these are Indian writers who were really talking about the issues which are prevalent in those times. So these have actually caused people to they have forced people to think about it, why this has been going on. So the second book that I would be sharing with you is Kamala Markandaya's Nectar in a Sieve. It's a really popular book, and it has won a lot of accolades also. And even the writer, the author Kamala Markandaya, is really famous. She was also born in the 1920s, and she, because of her father's transfers, her education was not steady. But she got to travel. She got to travel a lot. So when she was studying, and even after that, she got to see the Western side. And from there on, she got this idea that she must understand that why, from her experiences, that why there is a need for, a change in our society. So her stories, they generally focus on a woman's journey from self-sacrifice to self-realization, or from self-denial to self-assertion. She traces all those paths, how women rise and cross all those ordeals that they face, and how they have been, her characters are constantly searching for life. And that is something that is really important, because as I said, that women are not even given a chance to do that. So this book, when we talk about, and she has been one of the really distinguished women novelists in the post-colonial era. So this book, Nectar in a Sieve, how it has the feminist perspective, I would share with you. So basically this revolves again around a woman character named Rukmani. So Rukmani and Nathan, they love each other, and their marriage begins pretty in a nice way. But gradually what happens is, there's a tannery which is built in the neighboring village, and because of that their lives get affected. So they start starving. There are many issues. The book has also focused on, fertility as a concept in feminism. So women who are considered barren, they were not considered good, basically. So what she does is, she gets in touch with a foreign doctor to get rid of her problems. And her husband does not approve of it, but she takes the risk. And similarly, when her daughter is born, her daughter named Ira, when she is born, even she faces the same problem, and her husband leaves her because of that. So Rukmani tries to get in touch with that foreign doctor again, so as to get her treated. But till that time, Ira's husband has left her. So this is followed by how, because of the tannery business, how they have to work hard. Rukmani tries a lot to earn for her family. Her sons earn a lot, get the daily wages for the family, but their conditions and turmoil is such that they are not able to bear any fruit. So in the course of events, her sons, they expire, and Ira is forced into prostitution to take care of Rukmani's youngest son. And so these kinds of things go on. So this has, raised a lot of thrown light on a lot of topics. So as I said, fertility is one of them. And then how Rukmani, she is a very strong woman character. She realizes that she needs to work and, get her family out of this. So her whole journey is traced. She's a very strong character. She is very honest. She is very clear about what she wants, and she keeps on following that. So at the end, gradually, They find a place, they find a peaceful space where Rukmani and Nathan adopt an urchin who helps them to reach the doctor's house, and gradually things get settled. So her whole journey has been traced in a manner that you would understand how it took women to be very strong to deal with the problems that they faced. Now I would come to the next book. So this is something, a book that I love, that is Malala Yousafzai's I Am Malala. So we know why we love it, because she has a story which, you know, was really, it stirred the whole nation actually. So Malala, basically when Malala in the year 2012, she was on the way home from school, a gunman boarded the bus and asked, "Who is Malala?" And then he shot her on the left side of her head. So 10 days later, she woke up in a hospital in England, only to know that people throughout the world are praying for her recovery. So there is one quote that she said that I would share with you. "I could live a quiet life, or I could make the most of this new life that I have been given." And from there on started her journey. Her father was very supportive. She started the Malala Fund, and that was a charity that was dedicated to girls, so that no girl, you know, is forced into anything, and, you know, they can get educated. So that is something which really created a feminist, a legacy of feminism, and she is even book is still read. It is really focusing on these issues. So basically the book is about these whole set of incidents. So she was born, and she was growing up at a time when women's rights were jeopardized by the Taliban. So definitely because of that, women were forced to stay under the veil, and the government could not do anything to control the situation. They were not allowed, women were not allowed to go to schools. So that is what Malala's focus was. Why she became a feminist? Because right from the beginning, she could see that these people are disturbed men who at the time of global instability are just taking out their fear and their aggression on women. And that was something which was not acceptable to her. So this was one of her steps that she took to free women of these troubles. Now, the next book that I am sharing with you is Moxie by Jennifer Matthew. It's again a very good book because it is about, it is something young girls can relate to. So Jennifer Matthew, she again is a very popular novelist. She has also, she's the author of 2 bestsellers, and she's an English teacher in US. So she says that even as a young child, she could feel that what is fair towards girls and what is not fair. So that is why how she got in touch with many other women feminists and decided to tread on a path like this. And this book, Moxie, so it is, the concept is very interesting. So basically there's the main protagonist, Vivian Carter. She is fed up of the sexist dress codes which are there in the school. So in the football team, women, girls, they were treated badly, they were harassed. And so what this girl does is that she gets inspired by her mother, who was a punk rock girl in the 90s. So she takes a page from her mother's past and creates a feminist movement among the other girls, that they must rise and rebel against what's going on in the school. So in the process of this, every young girl who is there in the school along with her, so they feel that, yeah, it's the right thing to do, and they must stand up against what's going wrong, because there are instances when, you know, her friend faces rape threats and the principal just says it's okay, you should take it as a compliment. So that is something, those are some of the instances that really create a bad impact on your mind, that why this is going on. So that definitely needs a feminist movement, which has been shown in this book named Moxie. So it's a really interesting concept, and it's something maybe that we would be able to relate to as well. And the next book is again one of my favorites, that is Madeline Miller's Circe. So Circe, actually in Greek it's Circe. So this Circe, it's very different, and it has a feminist aspect, because the author here is talking about mythology and feminism. So that is how she has portrayed feminism through ancient mythology. So Miller, she said that she also said something about this book when she was writing. She says, because Circe is a very she's a popular Greek goddess, and she has been known to convert men to pigs. So the point she says is that the male heroic version has been the loudest version, but it is not the objective truth. So she wanted to write a book from the perspective of this goddess, So basically, when she was discovered to be a witch, she was ousted from her father's kingdom, and Helios told her to live her in a deserted island. So from there on, she traces her journey, as in she narrates the whole journey, what she goes through. She still wishes to live life on her own terms. In the course of her path, in the course of her journey, she meets a number of other mortals and immortals. She falls in love with Odysseus, and till the end, till even when she has a child, she decides to face everything on her own. Never does she go back. So she has given us a perspective from Circe's point of view, and definitely because there is nobody with her, she cannot go back. People are looking down upon her, so she decides to meet more people and develop her own knack for turning herbs into potions, do such things and keep herself busy, raise her child. So there is, it's interesting because it is a mixture of how she wants people to see from the girl's point of view, rather from the goddess's point of view, I would say, rather than from the other stories about Zeus and Odysseus that have been doing the rounds. So it is pretty interesting. And another book that is very popular if you search it on Google, so that is this Simone de Beauvoir's The Second Sex. So this book is basically in French, but it has been translated into English. So if you do some research, you would see that this is actually the Bible of feminist movement, if we talk about books, because the author has really put all her thoughts into it. She has a really strong point of view when it comes to feminism. She was also like born in the early 1900s, and her thoughts, they have been very crucial in this journey, in this struggle for women's rights. And she also even won the French Literary Award in her career. But her ideologies are something which actually reflect how we should change our thoughts about women and how women are treated in the society as compared to men. So these are some of the quotes that are there from the book. Basically, it actually catalyzed the movement, and people are reading this book, they really enjoy these thoughts are something which men and women from the coming generations are going to enjoy after reading that. Okay, this is something that she has portrayed about the Western notion of women, and how they are treated to be they are not treated to be equals. And this is what I am reading right now. So this is my current read. This is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. So this is again that I'm reading right now, and her take on feminism is pretty clear when she explains how the Black women were treated and how she grew up in such a society, and how her mother had to face all the troubles. And yes, so this is also one of the books that I would really recommend if you are planning to read something on feminism. So that is from my side, and I really hope that this talk, this small talk, would have given you some perspective of what contemporary and writers have been thinking about feminism. And I really hope it would have given you a good insight of what books you can go for if you are planning to read something about feminism over the weekend. Thank you.
Kanya, you can continue.
Thank you, Shefali, for your wonderful session and your talk
Thank you so
about the
much.
feminism.
Thank you so much.
Let's start with the question and answer session in which audience can ask Shefali directly questions, or else they can message me, or I will ask the questions. Please, if anyone has any question, they can raise their hands or type in the chat box.
Hi, Shefali. This is Santhya. Just one quick question.
Hi, Santhya.
You showed a lot of books and it is very inspiring. Among all, if you have to suggest one book, yes, this is a must. You should read. For a person like me who doesn't even read. So what would you suggest?
Okay. So from out of these books, so I would say that I am really enjoying this. The current one that I'm reading, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. So you must read that. And from the other books, as I said, I really love CIRCE. That is a really different perception of from a Greek goddess's point of view, that how she traces her own journey on her own. So I think you would love it if you like a little bit of fantasy and feminism, both in a concoction. And then, as I said, I also like I Am Malala. So that is really an inspiration. The rest of them are something that have like really created a stir. But if you're going for a light reads, then you can go for these two, three. You can choose one out of them.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question? Hello.
Yes, sure. You can. Please
Wonderful.
go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shefali. Wonderful talk. I'm from Kathmandu, father of 2 daughters. And at times my daughters ridicule me, including my wife. There are 3 girls and I'm a single man. So they say,
Okay.
you are in minority.
Okay.
Now, being a man and been brought up in a very manly environment in my times, I'm 50 now, and my girls are seeking that freedom, and I am so proud of seeing them grow. Now, how do you balance between the traditional, very conventional families? Because I've got my mom who is 93 years old, and she has all taboos that she wants her granddaughters to follow. And how do you balance? How do young girls now reconcile at not become a rebel, but uh, take the thread of that respect and uh, of those past traditions, at do not compromise on the freedom that they should go for. So I hope you understood what I'm trying to say,
Yes.
putting myself as a
Yes.
father in the different times that I belong to, and trying to reconcile with all that threats coming, and that difficulties that I'm going through.
Yes, yes. The question is really great, and it's very relevant because this is something I think that we can relate to, because there is as you said, there is a generation gap. Like our grandparents would always want that the girls, they are married in time, they have their own concerns, they have their own fears. That's completely true. But the girls would say, like as you said, your girls would expect that you give them the freedom to explore their life, to study more. I guess that is what you want to convey, right? And that is what I understand.
Yes, yes.
So I think you would have to take a little stand for them, as in not like that maybe they would be pestering you with a number of requests and something which you are not okay with. That is fine. But when it comes to the basic necessities, so if we talk about the taboos, like I would give a small example, like even if I talk about my grandparents, they would have had a thought in their mind that okay, she's 23 or 24, so she should get married now. But then my mother took a stand for me that she no, she will complete her education, she will study, she will do a job, and then she will get into that thing. So that is something that she supported me. I always wanted that, and without her support it was not possible. So there I think you would have to create a balance actually between the two generations, considering what your girls are thinking, what they want from life, whatever is feasible for you to provide them, and something which your parents must be thinking. So you would have to act as a bridge between them. So I think I am really happy that in that case that my mother stood for me, and like I completed my master's and I'm doing my PhD right now. So I have really evolved as a person, I would say. And so these taboos, when we talk about, they only restrict us, they only they don't allow us to grow. We are not able to see the world, understand how to deal with people. So that is something which is really important, and there that is where your role will come in supporting them. So as they grow, they would be that would they would be supporting you, and they would be mature enough to understand that, okay, now it's the time to pay back. And how old are they? Would love to know.
The first one is 18, second one is 8.
Okay. So the one who is 18, it's time for her to explore the world. Actually, she would be the one where you would be have to whom you would have to support more right now, I guess.
Shefali, one question from my side. Shefali?
Yes, hello. Hi.
Yeah. What inspired you to write about feminism?
So when I was writing, I since when I was small, I had this dream to write and get published. I wanted to become an author, but I wanted to. I didn't want to write something that would sound very cliche, simply a cliche story. I wanted to write something that would have a social message. So when I thought about what is there, what is going on in our society, so especially for physically disabled kids, and then girls more importantly, so they are not, we look down upon them, we consider them nothing. Already girls in many cases, they are still considered less, that they do not have the potential. We are still evolving, I guess. And so I wanted to bring in a social message, so that people who read the book, they can connect with the characters, and they can also be open to such thoughts like, okay, maybe we can adopt a child, or maybe a girl child, or maybe we can sponsor a girl's education. So I thought in that perspective, because I strongly feel that education is something which every girl should, she should not be denied that. What like, even if she wants to study to the highest degree, she wants to do a double degree, she should be allowed, she should not be held back. So that is what I thought while writing, that I would
Thank you,
a
Shefali.
message. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shefali, for answering the questions very diligently.
Thank you so
It
much.
is it is rightly said, world is made up of stories, not atoms. And from ancient ages, stories plays an important role in human life. So let's listen the tale which is worth listening, and let's welcome Disha for storytelling session. Over to you, Disha.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you can start.
Okay. How quickly can you make Maggie in a snap, right? But what if I told you to make a MasterChef level souffle? How quickly can you judge whether a speech is good or not so good in a snap? But how much time does it take to structure and present a speech? What if I told you to call your best friend right now? You would be able to do it just like this. But how much time does it take to make a best friend? Well, if you're in school, there are only two rules to make a best friend. One, no matter where you are sitting, you should be talking to them the most. And second, you have to share your tiffin with them. And that's exactly how Kinjal and I became friends. Whenever I would visit her place, Wi Fi would automatically get connected on my phone. And her siblings were closer to me than to her. But all those theories that you need to have something in common in order to become friends, it just doesn't apply here. She was the Rachel to my Monica, the Chandler to my Joey. But she didn't get those references because she hasn't seen friends. Suffice it to say, post school, we ended up in different college and had different career graphs. And by career graphs, I mean both of us were equally clueless about our careers. Collectively, we have tried our hands on graphic designing, fashion designing, sourcing, procurement, translation, IT, the list goes on. Since we stayed only one building apart, we used to meet every day at 9 p.m. That was our 9 p.m. ritual. And we would talk about our day. During one such discussion, Kinjal was contemplating on two potential boyfriends. Now, knowing Kinjal and knowing the two guys in question, I told her not to rate either of them. Fun fact, both those boys are now her exes. Coincidentally, that same night, I received a text from my boyfriend of 2 months stating that he wanted me to meet his cousins over the weekend. And I thought to myself, this is way too early. And so I did what any sane girl at 1 a.m. would do. I called up my best friend. And what was Kinjal's response to this? Oh, this just shows how much he's into you. You should definitely meet them. What's the harm? And obviously, I did not meet them. Another fun fact, that boyfriend is now my husband. But that's how it works, right? You seek advice, you get the right advice, you don't follow it, and then you hear the good old, I told you so. Things changed with time. I got married and shifted to a different place in the city, and slowly our communication started failing. I didn't realize over time that I was getting so busy in my day to day affairs that I didn't realize that Kinjal's calls and messages started dwindling. I didn't realize that every time I told her I'll call you back, I didn't necessarily call her back. It was just a phase where we drifted apart. And just like that, in a snap, the lifelong friendship just came to a halt. The person with whom I thought I would be having the 9 p.m. ritual, even when I turned 60, was not a part of my life. And it was a few months later that we met again. And surprisingly, those few months when we weren't in touch just didn't matter at all. We started off just where we had left it. It is the little things like waiting back and not going to the movie hall, even if you have turned up late. Saving your favorite food for you, even though it's the last morsel left. Staying up late to ensure that you are all okay after a bad breakup. That just show how strong your bond is. And it is especially during times like these that the little things are spoken, but the big things are just left unsaid, but equally understood in silence. Relationships are so fragile that as much time it takes to build them, it takes an equal amount of time to nurture them. Whether to break it or to make it, all it takes is just a snap. Thank you.
Thank you, Disha, for this wonderful story. And your expressions are very well enough.
Thank you.
Let's start with the debate session, for which I am very much curious. And on this topic, hashtag #MeToo movement.
So for the debate, we had got some volunteers from the group. So now what I'm going to do is everybody would be given 2 minutes to speak, and we have 3 people for the motion. Toastmaster Geeta Kashyap, Toastmaster Kamaljeet Ahluwalia, and Toastmaster Mandakini. So they will be the Prime Minister, and Toastmaster Master Geeta will be the Prime Minister, and Toastmaster Kamaljeet and Toastmaster Mandakini would be the Deputy Prime Ministers. And for the against the motion, so there will be so this will be the opposition party. So here the volunteers are Toastmaster Abu, who will be the opposition minister, and Toastmaster Shreya, Toastmaster Shweta, they will be the deputy opposition ministers. So each one of you would be given 2 minutes to speak for or against the motion. And after that, we would have a poll and we will see who gets the maximum number of votes. So I would invite the Prime Minister, Toastmaster Geeta, to start for the motion.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, a nice designation, Prime Minister's designation. Okay, let me start with that. Well, I'm totally in favor of Me Too movement. This movement started in the year 2006. It already while it's on the world 2018. Now here, this movement, why I'm in favor of, because most of the women have been encouraged. Am I audible? Audible? Yes. Most women have been encouraged to speak. For the first time, they came out with all the atrocities that they had been facing in their life, in their workplaces. So they had the courage to come out, because unitedly, it becomes easier. Singularly, it becomes very difficult to speak up. And moreover, in India, especially in India, the women, right from the earlier times, they had been asked to keep quiet, to keep silent, not to raise their voice. Whatever happened to them, under any circumstance, whether they are ill-treated in the offices, sexual harassment, domestic violence, whatever happened to them, they were asked to keep quiet. For example, let me give you the example of the movie Prem Row. In that movie, when the girl was a young widow, she was raped by her own brother-in-law. And when she talked about this to her mother told her, hush, keep quiet, don't utter a word about this, because the consequences are going to be very dire, very severe. So do not utter a word about this. Now, why talk about movies? Even in my own college, my own friend, a sweet, beautiful looking girl, she was raped by her own classmate, the chief minister's son. Now, when she tried to raise her voice, she was murdered. So because of all these reasons, women have always kept quiet. They had never been able to raise their voice. Now, my worthy opponents are certainly going to raise this question that there are so many fake cases as well. Now, I agree to that. There may be fake cases, but just because of a few fake cases, we cannot deny justice to the genuine cases. It is very important that we let us encourage these girls who are having the courage, who are bold enough to speak about these injustices that they have been facing since long. With that, I end my speech. Thank you.
That was a great perspective. Now we have Toastmaster Kavaljeet.
Have you ever heard a man crying in pain, wailing or lamenting that he has been sexually assaulted or harassed by a woman? No. It is only once in a blue moon that a man would come to you and tell you that my neighborhood auntie just pulled my cheek. The girl who sits next to me in the class messaged me late night. My colleague in the office asked me to go out for a coffee. My dear friends, a very good evening to you all. All these are called as informally eve teasing that many women in our country almost face every single day. No woman in her life would say that I haven't faced that. We all have. Me Too movement, which means I'm going through the same pain like you, gave all the women a platform to speak on, a platform where they can go and they can speak. Women in our country are afraid to come up, to speak what happened to them. Their nani, dadi, neighbor, teacher, mother would always tell them, this will be a big blot on your reputation. Don't speak. Now with Me Too movement, all of us have got this courage to come up and speak. 80% of sexual assaults and at workplaces are not even registered. This was a report in 2018 in the Economic Times. They are not even reported. Where companies, they vow that yes, they support the female employees there. This shows the ugly face of our society. Me Too came as a revolution, a wave with the change, and it is a need of the time. And after the advent of social media, women who came up and spoke actually got courage. Now, some of my friends would say that yes, some men are also target, men in power. But I'd say when dowry cases were reported and a government framed law against it, some of the women were using that as well. This is only 1 or 2%. Dear friends, 80% of women are still afraid to speak. Please let them speak and tell what they are going through. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster Kavalji, the deputy.
Actually, I saw the red card, so I just stopped speaking. I thought that the time is over. Is it so?
Yes, now we'll go
Yes.
to the speaker.
Thank you.
So, do we have Toastmaster Shreya, the next Deputy Prime Minister? Okay. So, I think we'll start with against the motion then. So, we have from the opposition party, the opposition minister, Toastmaster Abu. So, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, respected Prime Minister, respected Deputy Prime Minister. Let me go ahead and share this very famous phrase. Innocent until proven guilty has now been changed to guilty until proven innocent. My dearest and respected Deputy Prime Minister mentioned social media. Now, what we are talking about social media is we are talking about media trials. Every person deserves, as per Indian Constitution, you cannot go ahead and disclose the name of the person, either victim or accused, till the time investigation is closed. But the moment you take anything on social media, there is something that happens. Oh, let me remember what it is. Oh, it's called character assassination. You have already killed a person. For a layman, a person like me, if I have to fight a case, and if I am one who has been accused, it will take me minimum 3 years and maximum lifetime. And I'm not being given enough treatment. When we talk about Me Too movement, it is definitely a great approach, but you cannot protect a gender while going ahead and taking away the right of the other gender. Let me go ahead and share some very interesting news, and I'm sure you will all be intrigued by listening to this news. After the Me Too movement, what the world thought was the world is going to be a better place. But Harvard Business Research conducted a list of research, and this is what they found out. Me Too, hashtag Me Too, was replaced by hashtag Me Too Backlash. And as per hashtag Me Too Backlash, the report is for the year 2018 and 2019. It was found that 2018 research survey shows that in the wake of many people expected men to become more reluctant to engage with women at work. In certain ways, even through such activities can be crucial for advancement. Now, as per the survey, it was they asked men and women, could you be more reluctant to hire attractive women? Guess what? 11% male went ahead and said no, and 16% women said no. The next question, I will be more reluctant to hire women for jobs that requires close interpersonal interaction with men, for example, traveling. Guess what? 15%, they went ahead and they said that they don't want to hire women which requires interpersonal. The more women who came forward about sexual harassment, the more likely it will be that men blame women for the problem. And after that hashtag Me Too movement, 42% of males complained about it. In the end, I would like to conclude by something which is Farah Rabindranath Tagore. While I support the hashtag Me Too movement, I want where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic worlds, where words comes out from the depth of the truth, where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way, into the dreary desert sand of dead habits, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thoughts and action, into that heaven of freedom, my country, let my country awaken. Innocent until proven guilty. Over to you, moderator.
Wow, that was a great perspective. Now I would request the Deputy Opposition Minister, Toastmaster Shweta, to go ahead.
Yeah, hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, good evening, all of you. Now we are talking about Me Too movement. Somewhere I have read more than 50% of the people, regardless of men or women, means regardless of any sex, has faced sexual abuse. We're talking about Me Too movement. So I think here also I can find at least 5 to 6 people who can say Me Too. I'm asking this question. Who is ready to say Me Too right now? Who is ready to speak this right now? No one. What is the use of this Me Too movement? Just to harass? Just to have those slogans? No one of you is really speaking about this. And I know, and I assure, and I can confidently say, many are here who had been abused. Still, we're not speaking. We are talking about this thing right now. I think this question is enough. Thank you, Vasundhara. Thank you so much. This is enough to speak of. Only if right now here anyone is ready to speak, I would say it is a success, else it's a failure. And I can still assure, thank you, Sonika. Thank you. Thank you, Geeta Kashyap. Thank you. Thank you. So this is what I really want today. It's not about against the motion. It's not about favor. It's about speaking. If you're ready to speak, Me Too I'm in favor of Me Too. If you're not ready to speak, I'm against of Me Too. And thank you so much. If many of you have spoken, I really salute you. I really hail you. I really love you. And if you really want to share something to me, I'm ready to listen to all of you, all of you. There is nothing to go and speak out in the world. You have to first accept, and you need to work on healing yourself, on finding a kind of person to whom you can talk. It's not about movements. It's all about building your self-confidence back. It is all about healing from that trauma. It is all about loving yourself. Thank you so much once again. With this, I really want to stop myself. I don't know my time is over or not, but I really want to appreciate those who have said Me Too. Thank you.
So that is really something that, you have forced us to think about it. Great. So I think Toastmaster Mandakini and Toastmaster Shreya are not here. So we would be selecting on the basis of the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Opposition Minister, and Deputy Opposition Minister. So shall we go ahead with the polling?
Sure. So I can put one team in one poll, right? For Geeta ma'am and Kawaljeet, and against Abu and Shweta in one, right? I hope not in four. Abu, I'm right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I request everybody to please vote for the best debaters. I'll close the polling in another 20 seconds. I request everybody to please vote. 8 people have voted till now. It's a voting right, and today's book club is not a usual book club. It's a revolution, I think. I'll be closing polling in another 5 seconds. I request 4 more people to please vote. Thank you so much. So Shefali, you can continue, or Sukanya, you can continue.
Okay, so this was a very an eye-opening session, and we really need to talk about these issues. So So I would now go ahead and also we had a few activities in the group. So I would be declaring the winners for both the activities. So the first activity was write a 100-word tale on feminism, and it was indeed great. It received an overwhelming response, and I'm thankful to all those who participated because you actually shared very constructive ideas that can be related to feminism. So I would like to thank all the Toastmasters, Toastmaster Majoni Nisha, Toastmaster Abhiraj, Toastmaster Ambalika, Toastmaster Disha, Neha, Shweta, Abu, Geeta, and Ashura to participate in that activity. It was really a tough call. Everybody wrote so well. And so I have decided that there would be and Toastmaster Geeta, I forgot. So I thank you as well. So I have decided that there would be two winners from my side. So that is Toastmaster Disha and Toastmaster Shweta. And as for the second activity, congratulations to the winners. And as for the second activity, so that was sharing a video or a write-up on the woman character who has left an indelible print on your mind. Again, all the videos were great. So Toastmaster Sudeep, Abu, Toastmaster Kavaldeep, and Shweta, really great videos. So I would like to announce the winner for this activity. It is Toastmaster Kavaldeep. So that is because Piku is really a strong woman character who has definitely, taught us great lessons. So I really liked her perspective on that. And I would like to thank Toastmaster Param, Abu, Shrejita, Sukanya, Disha, Sonika for giving me this opportunity and for such a beautiful interaction with you all. And the next keynote speaker is going to be Vasundhara Gupta, and I'm sure the next session will be as enjoyable as this was. And now I will hand over to Sukanya.
Thank you, Shefali. I would like to announce the winner of the most interesting debate session. And the winner is none other than Abu and Shweta against the motion of #MeToo movement. Let's give them a great round of applause. Can we have the next keynote speaker, Vasundhara, please? Yes, Vasundhara, if you want to say anything for your next session, then it would be great for us.
Sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Vasundhara. I just published my first book. It took a lot of courage because I've been a writer for 3 years, but for some reason, when it comes to publishing a book, it feels very permanent, right? You can change your blog, but you can't change your book. I'm a spiritual writer, and my first book is called Spirit Animals. So, I'll be sharing next week about what role animals play in our day-to-day life and how they can spiritually guide us. Which means if you see an ant around your house, it might have a meaning. If you see a bee that's always chasing you in the garden, it might have a meaning. If you dream of snakes, if you dream of butterflies, they all have some role to play in our journey. And I've collaborated all my experiences and written them in a short and sweet ebook. So it's called Spirit Animals, 21 Divine Messengers of the Universe. It is available on Amazon. You can use the Kindle app to find it. And I hope you guys enjoy with me the next week. So let's see how it goes. Thank you.
Thank you, Vasundhara. It's time to close up the session. End does not become happy ending without a cooperative team. And with this note, I would like to say it's my proud privilege to be the anchor of this session. I would like to thank Sonika, the timer of the meeting, the savior, the Shefali, the keynote speaker, whose topic on feminism and the #MeToo movement was commendable, the storyteller Disha, and all the volunteers of the debate session of #MeToo movement. And last but not the least, Toastmaster Param and Toastmaster Abu for coordinating the meeting, for coordinating the team members for this successful meeting. I would like to invite Param to close the meeting. Over to you, Param.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sukanya. So before I end this meeting, I want to ask everybody, and everybody can unmute themselves. How's the Josh? How's the Josh today? I think after today's session,
Good, good.
Hi.
It's always high.
if the Josh is high, I can see your beautiful faces. Can you show me
Yeah.
your beautiful face and come on video? Thank you so much. So our today's session was,
Okay.
sorry,
I'm sorry.
no problem. Shweta, you were saying something?
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were taking photographs. That's why I showed my thumbs up. I'm so sorry for that.
No worries, no worries. So our today's session was not a usual one. It actually intrigued a lot of thoughts in mind. It actually awared us. It actually given us a reality check. Thank you, Shweta. These kind of book club members have really contributed to the purpose we meet every Tuesday. Not because we are here to share just readings. We are here to discuss something which is happening in the world, which is happening with us. So now it's time to share my gratitude towards our keynote speaker, Shefali. I and Abu personally know that on a very short notice, we have told her that she needs to conduct this session. She is quite hardworking. She has ensured everything was there while before her session. Thank you so much, Shefali, for that wonderful session. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure.
Thank you so much, storyteller Disha. Your story was really amazing. Anchor Sukanya, thank you so much. Our vigilant timer Sonika, thank you so much. Our PR person Shejita, you're a rock star. And our event coordinator and backbone of this club, Toastmaster Abu Shadab. Thank you so much, Abu, for organizing this event and making this success every Tuesday. Thank you so much, everyone. I request you to please join the next session. If we are having Vasundhara second time in our book club, and if you want to sleep better on a Tuesday night, you don't miss the first session. Our session is quite relaxing. You will have a good night sleep after a session, not because it's a boring session, but it's quite relaxing session. You feel relaxed after listening to it. I request everybody to please join that session, and let's meet next week, Tuesday, same time, same place. And till then, take care of yourself.
Param, picture.
And yes, how can I forget to take this memory? It's
Master Shweta is waiting for picture and you are not clicking any picture.
sorry, it's my bad. So I request everybody to please come off on video once again. Show me your beautiful faces. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm just taking the picture.
Everyone can show thumbs up. Abu, your video is not on.
No, I'm there on the other camera, other video. No, it's the other one. Let me ping myself. I have a different audio and video.
Screenshot. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Let's meet next Tuesday, same time, same place. Till then, take care of yourself.
Thank you, Param.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sponsor.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Param.
Thank you, Shefali.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.